The second part is going, once you've successfully gone around the left and you're facing the front of the sector, okay? This is what we call the sprint phase. But the thing is, I don't want you to actively think about sprinting. Okay, so I don't want you to actively go like that, okay? The sprint happens by turning out of the left turning around the left side correctly out of the back, okay? Because the second you start actually actively sprinting and actively pushing stuff, okay, it will just make your muscles tight. It will bring your orbit in, and it will let you, and you'll force positions. You'll decelerate. You'll get all tense, and it will mess up your entire throw. Okay, if you look at the great throwers, it doesn't look like they force anything. It's just all a reaction from what they do out of the back. It's all a stretch reflex. Okay? So the sprint, so it looked like these elite throwers, they are sprinting out of the back. But what it actually is just an accidental reaction from just turning their left hip or right hip if you're a lefty out of the back correctly, okay? Because what will happen if you actually actively sprint is you'll go way too far across the circle. You will most likely jump up. And the second you go up, you just lose all your speed, all your momentum, all your power. If you look at the fastest throwers, they're not necessarily they don't sprint really fast. Well, okay, they kind of do. But they don't sprint really fast, and they're not crazy they don't really train for that. It's because they're not moving up. They're moving forward or they're moving down. Not really down, more forward. Some of them move down. But most of them go forward, but it's rotationally forward. So it's not a rotation linear. Like what people have usually been taught. Like you'll hear in the beginning, a rotation. So rotation, linear, rotation, linear. Okay? All of it is really, you shouldn't really think about the throw that way. You should think about the throw as one continuous rotation with accidental linear concepts. Because the second you try and stop going rotational, your forces are going to go different places that they shouldn't be going. Okay? The second you start sprinting and stop your rotation, what you're going to do is it's going to cause the energy, the rotational energy that was in your right side and in the places where you need to throw the discus. It's going to cause them to go other places they don't need to be, which will make you lose tension. Okay? It'll make you lose tension in the arm, in the throwing arm, and lose the separation between your hip and your shoulder. Okay? And it'll most likely mess up your orbit as well, because since you've lost that tension, your arm's just going to go all over the place and you're going to probably bend or go chest up. Okay, so the main focus that you want to do when you're driving off the left foot into the right is to think about it. So, let's see. Yeah, okay. What you want to do, so my previous video explained how to get over the left properly, okay? So you're going to just rotate around, and I can't do it full speed because this doesn't really work unless I do it full speed, but I can't. See where I'm recording. Sorry. Um, but you'll get the idea. So you're just gonna rotate, and you're just gonna it just happens naturally. I'm not actively trying to go forward. Like I'm not actually like sprinting forward. Okay? My left foot left the ground because of stretch reflex. And the more stretch reflex you use, the more like, so you won't lose the length. This really applies more to the discus, I guess in shot too. But in discus is where you can really see it. So you'll see like really muscular bound people like that have like huge muscles. And like, yeah, they're like super long, but like they're super tense and not mobile. And then like they actually like try and throw it, like actively try and throw it like you would like a baseball or something, or like they're just trying to huck it. And they don't rely on momentum and stretch reflex. And I bet, so what happens if you throw like that, you're gonna get super tired and you're gonna most likely have a really bad release. You're probably gonna risk injury. Well, you are gonna risk injury. And it's just gonna be like, you'll take like maybe 10 throws and be super tired if you throw like that, instead of letting like physics and letting momentum carry you, and like just letting Mother Nature help you, honestly. What's important, sorry, I'm getting off track. A simple thing. The throw is very simple, okay? People try and complicate it, and it does not need to be complicated, okay? It's very, very simple. To throw 60 plus meters does not take a lot, okay? You need to have the base strength and competent technique, and you can throw 60 meters. With 50 meters, I should say. 60 meters, you need more than the base strength, and you need some other good technical stuff, okay? The throw can get complicated, but to throw really far, like it doesn't need to be complicated. And even then, like the other stuff's like very fine-tuned stuff, okay, that are like individual differences. But these are like base stuff that every like elite thrower and any like competent thrower does, whether they know it or not, okay? So, yes, okay. So you've rotated out of the back, okay? So you're here, okay? You're here, you're getting ready to use reaction time, not sprint, to use reaction and stretch reflex to go into the middle, okay? Actually, before I even get there, one could argue that the reason they don't really sprint, these elite discus throwers, because they're all really tall, and they're all like freaks of nature, and like they can't really sprint, or like someone like Ryan Krauser, like they can't really like actively sprint because they'll just fall out of the ring. Well, my rebuttal to that is that, especially in shot put, with the exception like Ryan Krauser, if you look at Joe Kovacs, Reese Hoffa, Adam Nelson, Tom Walsh, they're all like 6'1", like Tom Walsh I think is like 6'3", like 6'1", like 6 foot, and they use up the ring too. I mean the ring's smaller. So I mean, we're talking about discus. You'll see someone like a Luckna and Cantor and Harding. Like Cantor's like 6'5", like Luckna's 6'9", Harding's 6'8", Schultz like 6'7", Riedel's like 6'7", Malachowski's 6'7". So, but if you look at someone like Ishan Haddadi or Anthony Washington, who are like 6'3" and below, Anthony Washington is actually a perfect example of this. He threw 71 plus meters, okay? He's 6'1". I just assume he's really strong. I don't know his weight room numbers. I can just tell by looking at him he's really strong. But if you notice when he throws, if you look at like a side view, you can really see it. He uses maybe a little more than half of the ring but he throws 71 plus meters. You don't have to use the entire ring to throw far. The whole thing is to just get the implement out of your hand basically as quickly as possible with efficient and torqued movements. Okay? So if someone like Anthony Washington tried to use the entire ring, it would slow him down. Okay? And he's probably one of the quickest throwers ever. Okay? Because he just turns really fast, gets down really hard, gets into the middle, and just gets the implement out of his hand. Okay? And he's the American record holder in discus. Okay? So just because you're short does not mean you have to use the entire ring to throw far, okay? It's more important to move efficiently, be torqued, and to go and to just get it out of your hand as quickly as possible, okay? But that does not mean rush the throw and just move all crazy and just like try and just throw it really hard, okay? Throw it, get it out of your hand as quickly as possible with the most energy into the implement as you can go, as you can produce into it, while moving efficiently, quick, and torqued and separated. Okay. Now this video is getting long, so I'll continue moving I'll continue explaining how to go out of the back properly in the next video. Okay.